Jenny, I want to start with you because I think one thing that this series has done so successfully and has kind of been teased to happen in season three is taking what you've written, but really making the changes necessary for it to be on screen, being able to adapt it and surprise people who kind of read the story and know where it's going and new fans. What do you think about just in terms of really being able to achieve that?
I hope we achieved it. I think we
I think so.
did. I mean, like both of us, we couldn't be more proud, I think, of the work that we did this season. I think it really comes together beautifully. I think the intention is always to honor um the original fans of the
Mhm.
story and also bring like some new things to the table as well, just to keep things exciting. I mean, for me, I always have to be excited about whatever I'm doing um and feel energized, I guess, to tell the story and play in the world.
Lola, obviously your Taylor Swift fandom has, gone viral and people love it. If you could kind of assign a song to where we see Belly in season three, what would you pick?
Mm, Um, I would say, I'm trying to think. It's probably something a little later on.
Don't blame
Um,
me.
well, when we first see her at the beginning of the season,
um
that's crazy. I think like
there's Midnight Rain, there's Bejeweled.
maybe Bejeweled is a
Bejeweled is
nice thing
fun.
because
Yeah.
she's having fun. She's in
Yeah.
college.
Yeah.
She's
She's going out tonight.
yeah, hell yeah. Belly's outside. Yeah.
At least for the streets.
Well, she's in a 4-year committed
That's true.
relationship.
She's not for the streets. At least
But she's
an indoor cat.
yeah, but she has friends. She has a lot of friends at school
Yeah.
and has her own passions and hobbies outside of her relationship,
Yep.
which is also really important. And is figuring out who she wants to be as her own person, which I think is very Bejeweled,
I agree
right?
with you.
Lola, what was it like for you to be able to kind of come back to Belly, but a couple years later? There's like a little bit of maturity there. She's in a different point in her life.
Totally. I mean, we had a year off because of the strike, so I kind of got 2 years off between filming
Hmm.
season two and season three, which kind of was, yeah, I mean, similar because there's a time jump. It's a little bit more, 4 years, but I ended up playing my own age, which was kind of cool. I feel like that doesn't happen that often. And I felt like over those 2 years, I had grown so much, and I know that Belly had also grown so much over the 4 years that we didn't see her. So it was cool um, going into season three with a sort of new perspective and all the lessons that I'd learned in my life and all the lessons that I knew um, Belly had learned and was going to learn this season, I guess.
I think that's the coolest part about it is that
Yeah,
you get to bring all that into the
yeah,
character.
totally.
And I think it just really deepens and like enriches the story,
Yeah.
when you can bring your own lived experience to it.
Most women watching will know that like your relationship with your mom when you're like 16, your relationship with your mom when you're in college can look very different. What was it like to be able to kind of expand on that and see the evolution of that relationship as we go into season three?
Oh, that's such a good question. I think when I think back to being in high school and like just the ways that I feel like I was always just so impatient with my mom and like so mean, where it's constantly like,
Oh.
mom, it just always, I think I still sound like that. But of where you're often locked in battle a lot
Mm.
with your mom, I think because it's like you're coming into your own, you want independence, you want to like make up your own mind about things, but you're still living under her roof and you actually don't have much control
Mm.
over, if one day your parent was like, we're moving because I got a job change, so we're going to a
Mm.
new state, you don't really get a say in whether or not you're staying or going. And I think that can feel I don't know, really like confining. So, but then when you have that space to go out to college and kind of forge your own path a little bit, then I think you can have more grace for your parent when you come back home and you can see them more as people. And
Mhm.
I think that for Belly and Laurel, as Belly gets older, they really are seeing each other more as people and more in a more equal
Yeah.
footing
I
and
think they're,
respecting.
I mean, they're really similar though too, and that's the thing that also happens where like teenagers are often pretty stubborn when it comes to their parents, like you were saying, and don't always want to listen, even if what their parents are saying is probably for the best. But then, Belly, I think, continues to be pretty stubborn just as a person. That's how she is, which is amazing because it makes her headstrong and driven and determined. But she is stubborn, and she definitely gets that from Laurel. So,
For
like,
sure.
they're both stubborn,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
really um, want what's best for each other the way that they think it's best, you know?
And I
But
think now starting to again see each other's humanity in
yeah,
a
yeah.
different way.
Yeah,
As
totally.
the older you get, the more you're
Absolutely.
able to not
See
just
that.
see mom as mom, but mom as like a person.
Yeah.
We're getting married. I'm sorry, what?
Did you know about this?
Belly, honey, you two aren't ready for a commitment like this. You're talking about a lifetime.
Laura, I want to be with Belly for a lifetime. I can commit to that, easy.
That is how I know you aren't ready. I feel like, I don't know, when you're in high school, you're still a kid. And then when you jump to college, all of a sudden you've already turned 18. You're now an adult. And so I think some of the decisions that you make have bigger repercussions, perhaps. And so I think where we are is that Laurel is always there for her daughter, and always supportive of her, but they don't always agree on the decisions. I think with like any parent, you're trying to guide your kid, but you don't always agree with what they're doing. And so sometimes they're on the same page and sometimes they are not.
Tom, for you, I think for your character, obviously, season two, we really wanted him to make the right decision with the house, and happily we kind of got there. Was it interesting to step into a season three where it at least seems like he has a bit of a better relationship with his kids going into it?
Yeah, I agree. I really love that scene. That was fun to play in season two. It was very, emotional. And you see Adam break a little bit, break down a little bit about, Susanna and how hard that is for him too. And he is being a jerk, but then he does soften. I mean, he is completely ambushed in that moment.
You're welcome.
And I think you see that a little bit of that coming back together with the boys. And at the beginning of season three, he's certainly a little bit better off with Jeremiah, but there is still quite a gap with him and Conrad. So Adam is working hard or working as best as he can at making amends with his sons.
Because when we enter season three, there is that little bit of a time jump. What's particularly interesting about that for each of your characters? Sean, if you want to start.
I think that within that time and then at the start of season three, there's a lot of like change that goes on. I think that's like the key word that I've been kind of using. But 4 years is a lot, and 4 years means that we're not at the same place where we left off at season two.
That's correct.
And I think that people will be surprised to know that throughout the 4 years, there's been some up and downs, and it's been a little on and off again between these two.
That's right.
And it hasn't been everything fairy tale, wise. And I think that that leaves us at a very interesting place to start season three.
We're like in our 20s now. Everyone's sort of in their 20s, which is drastically different. And yeah, our characters have probably broken up and gotten back together a million times. And just yeah, navigating like what it means to be for my character, like what it means to be in college and how to be an adult. And we meet Taylor's mom for the first time, which is really exciting, and we get to see like their dynamic a little bit. There's a sort of like push and pull of like how much do I help my mom and versus how much do I like pursue what I want to do and like leave the nest. And yeah, so much change.
I think Taylor's personality, like for the whole time that we ever have gone to see her up until this point, I think it's just infectious, and a lot of people really kind of gravitate towards how you executed that character so beautifully. But now that she is a bit older, what is it like to kind of be able to transfer some of that kind of energy and retain some of that as we go into season three, but still, like you say, have her mature and be a little bit older?
Totally. Yeah, it's something I've like thought about a lot, it's like someone when they're 16 versus someone when they're in their 20s it's a completely different person. Like, I was a very different person when I was 16 versus when I was 21 or whatever. And so that was really fun. Like that's been a really fun journey. I think like when we last saw her in season two, there were themes of like guarding her heart versus being vulnerable with Steven, and I think when we see her in season 3, some of that is still there, you know, she's still working on how to be vulnerable with another person. You know, I've said before, like healing isn't linear, it's not a linear thing. So like sometimes um you can make like a breakthrough and get somewhere, you know, whatever in yourself or with another person and trust someone, and then maybe like later you are more closed off again, and like that's cool, that's okay. So she's sort of navigating that now.
Sean, for you, I think how the show was able to kind of show all of these friendships was really unique. And I think something that really stood out in particular was how Stephen really was like there for Conrad when he's having anxiety. How would you say the friendship kind of evolves as we go into season 3? Because I think that's such a core part of what everyone loves.
It's a tough one. I have to say that season 3 aside, like I'm glad that people resonated with those scenes because I think that those are some of my favorite to film. Chris is a very dear friend of mine. I love him. We hang out like every day. And to get those scenes together were not only amazing to be able to work together, but the magnitude of the scenes, obviously talking about like mental health and then like straight up just like friends being there for friends, like homies being homies. I loved and having scenes where we get to talk and kind of be vulnerable with each other in a weird like bro way is was very interesting. And I will say no spoilers, but we have some scenes together in season 3 that I'm very excited for the fans to see and I'm very proud of. I know he works extremely hard and I'm very excited for you guys to see it.
Tom, for you, I think with this show, there's been a massive amount of people kind of really feeling strongly about, I think, every character and every storyline and who people want to see together and who people don't. What's it like to be on a show where you do have all of this kind of fanfare and all of this excitement about what's really going to happen with the story that you're telling?
Oh, wow. It's wild. Yeah, there's so many people invested in this show. I think it's great. I love it. Certainly, know that when I'm meeting someone and they're of a certain like age group and they're like, "What do you do?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm just an actor. I'm on this show, The Summer I Turned Pretty." And then they go, and they're like, freak out. So that's kind of fun.
Do they not recognize you?
No, no, I don't think so.
Wow, really?
People mostly just think I've been in their shop before. Oh, welcome back. Oh, never been here before.
Oh my gosh. Can I tell my favorite? Was
Yeah.
I took my son to a new dentist and she was like, "You look so familiar." She's like, "Either we went to dental school together or you're on a TV show." It's
One or the other.
like, yeah, maybe it was not dental school.
I like how that's the choice. There's no other
I know,
thought.
totally. No in between. Not like we're in the same neighborhood, at the same shops. No.
Because going into this, we knew that this is 3 books, 3 seasons, if it wasn't going to be broken up in any way. Can you both of you just tell me a little bit about your last day on set and what it was like to kind of have this come to an end?
It was a couple different people's last day was my last day. I think so. I think Sean and I maybe the same.
Mhm.
I mean, hard, like, but it was just we put in a lot of work and I think, it was bittersweet. We're all really proud of what we did, but we're gonna miss hanging out together because we all really love hanging out and, on set and off. So yeah.
Yeah. It's the one sort of like bright light is that after you shoot the show, you have so much time before it comes out. And so now we can come together and see it together and kind
Yeah.
of relive it. And
Yeah.
I don't know, I'll probably text you when it comes out and be like, "Did you see that scene?
That's fine.
Was it what you thought it would be?" So I feel like it's continuing on for us right now.
Absolutely, yeah.
It was great. The final day was great. It wasn't, it's like any final day for like a season, it's emotional and beautiful and
Yeah.
everything at once.
Yeah, it's true. It feels, I don't know, it feels so bittersweet. I get, like you said, like every time have wrapped a season, it's felt very bittersweet. Like, um, because it's like summer camp, you're with all of your friends and you're making this thing and you're so proud of it. And then on the other hand, it's like you're not going to see your friends every day, so it's sort of, but yeah, my last day was beautiful. It felt like, or last day of season 3 was, yeah, beautiful. It was like there were some tears, there were some hugs, celebratory and also sad. It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's beautiful.
Rain got pissed at me because the last day that on season 3 that we shot together, I just gave her a hug and then I wouldn't let her go. And then she's like, I gotta get the fuck home. I was like, good luck, dog. I don't know what to tell you. So yeah, then she had to pry me off of her with a crowbar. But yeah, that didn't work too well.
I'm just physically keeping the cast together.
Exactly. Exactly. You get it. You get it. Yeah.